Planning can be tough. It's really, really difficult when you have no idea where you should get started. With financial planning, people tend to react a lot to the things that they should be doing. They tend to make a lot of different decisions, and it creates this accidental plan over the course of time where they bought certain insurances, they put money in certain investments, maybe accumulated certain savings. And at the end of the day, there is really no true sense of direction of why all of this is happening. Or maybe there is an idea. Maybe there's just an idea that popped up saying, I want to do all of these things, but it was never really written down, reevaluated. And what we find ourselves is it's very easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, to kind of focus on things a little bit later, because when it's a little bit more of a priority, when I have the time to go do it. And what we really need to do when it comes to planning and even our lives as a whole is that we need to dream. We need to sit here and think about, what do we want? When I ask you that question right now, what do you want from your life? I will say this conversation we have all the time with people where they're not really sure. We have to almost extract it from them. We have to pull it from them saying, what do you want to accomplish? What's important to you? What are the things that you would like to do? And look, there is no right or wrong answer to this. And the best place that you can really start with doing any of this is to really start defining what we call your reasons for planning. So there's a lot of other things on the personal side, and there's a lot of different goals and things that you can do. One person that I love a lot, his name is Michael Hyatt. I've been using his full focus planner for the longest time now. And every year is to sit down and really start thinking about what's important for this next coming year from a goal standpoint. What do I want? And you can break down your goals in many different categories if you go online and be able to look into how do I break these down? There could be fitness, there could be spiritual, it could be education, it could be family, there could be a lot of different things financially. But particularly for this subject, it would also be good for us to talk about financially. What do you want to accomplish? Because everything that we do in our lives is a result of earning an income or earning some kind of wage or something to then be able to exchange that for something in return. So if it's travel, if it's being able to retire, if it's, who knows, buying a new car, getting a house, having kids, all of these things require some kind of monetary responsibility on our behalf. So there is no right or wrong answer to what you want to do. And because our lives can be filled with so much noise and so much chatter, it can be very difficult to take all of this and boil it down into these couple different pieces of information and be able to make it very easy for us to apply to our lives. When you look over the course of the next 6 months, 12 months, what would you like to work towards or have accomplished in that time period to feel some sense of success? Do you have it written down? So take a moment and write down what is important to you. Again, there is no wrong answer. We need you to dream. And it could be related personally to your finances. Maybe it could be to this lesson that you've been attending. Maybe it could be something unrelated to it in any form, and it's just something else that you'd like to focus some of your attention and your energy on over time. So once you start listing these out, just create a list, master list, doesn't matter. You can write and write and write and just keep putting down everything that is of some importance and significance to you. And then what you want to do is then be able to boil it down on a quarter by quarter aspect. Okay, so when you look at each quarter, 1, 2, 3, and 4, there's 4 quarters over the course of a year. Okay, we want to make sure that we take all of these and then choose 1 or 2 that I want to focus my energy on. There should be one that really is important to you, but then there could be 2 that you could focus on. Anything beyond that, it just becomes overwhelming and it's too much to really be able to digest and to be able to start working towards. Trust me, I've tried doing a lot of things in one quarter and it's a lot to try to focus on them. And look, your reasons for planning can adjust. You can add, you can remove, you can modify. It's perfectly fine. However, when it comes to your reasons for planning, we need to figure out, okay, what is the 1 or the 2 that I really want to concentrate on this quarter? And after the quarter is over, you get to figure out, okay, did I complete what I wanted to get done or at least work towards it? And then evaluate again, adjust, take some more, figure out what you did from the last quarter, and then reassign some new ones. Or if you're still working on one from the previous quarter because it requires more time, now you cycle that into the next quarter. And this should be something that you're doing on a very consistent basis. So this can help you manage your day-to-day, your month-by-month, your year-by-year a little bit more simple instead of trying to look at things from a bigger picture. Because a lot of times people are like, well, I want to own a house, I want to have kids, I want to one day retire. But all of these things are just like, they're all thoughts. What are you actually going to work towards every little step of the way to get there? So it's okay to dream and think about, hey, we all want to have the ability at some point to say, I'm done working. I don't want to have to work for a paycheck anymore. I've worked long enough for a paycheck. And I want to have the ability to basically say, I can choose to work. I can choose to be able to not have to go to work anymore tomorrow. But then in the mix of all of it, maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to have children. Maybe you want to become a business owner. Maybe you want to expand your education. What are all of those things to you? Are they important? Write all of these down, because then what you can do, maybe it's a priority right now. Maybe it's something that you're going to work on over the course of the next 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 10 years. Because some things don't happen right away. But when we can really get clarity over what our reasons for planning are, that will help guide us when we start getting a little distracted, when we start getting a little lost when it comes to the decisions that we're trying to make. We can take a step back and actually say, okay, so this decision I'm about to make right now, does this align with what's important based off of what I want to accomplish? And if it doesn't align, then you have to make the choice at that point of saying, should I continue to pursue this or should I stop? And by having that guiding beacon for you, it can help you be able to recalibrate, readjust, and get you refocused. So many times we tend to live our lives in this autopilot where we follow the herd. We tend to make quick decisions. We tend to make quick decisions to not decide. We do a lot of different things in our lives that, we are kind of irrational to a certain being, and we tend to avoid a lot of the things that don't make sense to us. And at the same time, a lot of the things that tend to be overwhelming, we tend to ignore them as well. And how do we get past all of that? We need to understand what we truly want ourselves. So take a moment, write down what your reasons for planning are. What do you want to concentrate on? What's important to you? And then pick for this next quarter 1 or even 2. So like if one of them is I want to find an advisor or someone to help me with my finances. And what's really interesting about this, and a lot of times people always ask the question of when is it important to get an advisor? And as of right now, every time is good to have an advisor. Really what an advisor should be helping you do is create really good habits and create really great behaviors. Everything else when it comes to investments, insurances, everything else that's going on in your financial life, those are all products that should be getting implemented from all of your habits and behaviors. But someone who's really, really guiding you and trying to give you direction around your financial life should take a step back and see things from a bigger perspective for you. So there might be some very critical decisions that you're trying to make right now that require a lot of brain capacity. They require a lot of knowledge that maybe you do not have. And instead of relying and trying to follow what other people are trying to do, having someone that you can lean on that can really take the more of the broader perspective and analyze things and model them for you, so then you can have the choice to say, yes, it makes sense, no, it doesn't make sense. So maybe one of them that you have right now is you want to find an advisor. Maybe another one is you want to get your financial life organized. Maybe you want to look at getting yourself better protected. Maybe you want to educate yourself more around financial stuff. Maybe it has nothing to do with any of that and you want to travel. You want to have kids. You want to start a business. All of these things are super relevant and none of them are wrong answers. So dream, take a moment, ask yourself, over the next 6 months, the next 12 months, what would you like to work towards or have accomplished during that time period to feel some sense of success? Take this moment to write them down. Thanks for being with us on all of this. We hope you found a great time with all of our content we've provided, and we'll see you again sometime in the future. I'm Tom Seco, one of the co-owners and co-founders of Florida Veterinary Advisors, and the co-host of the Smarter Vet Financial Podcast.